So hello, everyone. Today we have a very exciting episode here with Hannah and Jennifer at DefineMe Fragrance. And we're also joined by Alicia, who is our head of strategy here at Malomo. So we are going to first dive in. Hannah and Jennifer, I'm going to have both of you say hi and just give a little bit, top of the level background on who both of you are and what DefineMe is.
Hi, I'm Jennifer McKay-Newton. I'm the founder and CEO of DefineMe. I launched DefineMe back in 2015, sort of as a way to, there's kind of a long story behind it. I can go into that, but, I had a background in interior design and I just ended up being a fragrance founder. So it's kind of an interesting journey and story.
Yeah, we love that. We'll definitely want to get into that deeper. But before, Hannah, do you want to say hi and give your background?
Hi, I'm Hannah. I'm the marketing coordinator here at DefineMe. I'm from Massachusetts originally. I went to school for marketing in New Hampshire. I've been out in LA for about 7 years now, and I've been with DefineMe for a year and a half.
Wow. Okay, perfect. So this is a perfect lead up to tell us all about DefineMe. Jennifer, you mentioned it, your background a little bit, and how you turn that into a fragrance brand. So can you tell us like the founder story of DefineMe Fragrance, and kind of how you found yourself going from interior design to founding your own brand?
Yeah, sure. So I was a designer, and around 2008, 2009, I was really burnt out. The economy was in like the pits and people weren't looking to design their houses. They were losing their houses. And I was just really kind of frustrated and felt a little lost at the time. And so I was like, I'm just going to go back to my roots in industrial design. I had studied interior and product design and industrial design. And, but I was like, I want to do something that's meaningful, and that creates well-being and that people really connect to, not something that you would just throw away when you're done with it. And so one of the first, I launched this line it was another brand called Pure Designs for Living. And the first product that I launched were these boxes, and they were called blessings boxes, and they were for special occasions like baby showers and weddings, birthdays and things like that. And it was essentially this kit that you would lay out, and then you would write notes to at the baby shower or the wedding, with wishes, blessings, things like that. And then you would it was a keepsake. One of the components had to be a candle, right? So I started, you light the candle. And when I had never worked with scent before or made candles before. And so I was working with a candle maker in Northern California, and I asked her, what do you got? What kind of scents do you have? I need something for birthday. I need something for wedding. And she sent me a box full of tea lights, and they were all really one note. So there was like vanilla or lavender or pomegranate. And I thought they were all kind of boring and weren't exactly what I wanted. So I ended up literally melting candles and doing my own little concoctions with the material she had sent me. And then I would send her back a note and say, okay, for the baby box, I need 10% of this and 20% of this and 30, and so I began kind of connecting scent to an inspiration or a word or meaning. And so then that turned into its own line of candles, because people really resonated with the emotional connection to the candle, because scent is very connected to the limbic system of your brain. When you smell something, it goes directly there, which is the emotional center of your brain. And that's where, and at the time there were studies out on it, but it's just kind of starting. And so throughout the years, it's gotten more studies are out, how scent really does affect you and does connect to well-being. And then that company, I was like, doing a million different products, and it was just kind of, I don't know, a little bit all over the place. It was kind of my learning experience with a brand and how to build product and that sort of thing. And so I was like, the thing that I love the most and I'm most passionate about is the scent. So I'm going to scrap that company and launch DefineMe, which will be just about scent and empowering people through and creating well-being through scents. So that's how it really started.
Yeah, that's really cool. So it kind of brought me back a little bit because I studied formally like neuroscience. And so the limbic system and emotional regulation is very familiar. And so I think that's such a cool background to have while you're making sense, right? Like it to have that background in candle making, which Alicia, we also did as our like company, one of our company holiday parties. We all like made candles together. It was really fun, but like their candles are very fragrant, like the oils that you mix in with it. But I think that's so cool. Like I know when I was going through your guys' website and like tracking pages and everything, I was seeing the intentionality behind like each scent. And so it's so cool to hear you talk about kind of how the founding story and candle making then translates into intentionally making sense and like trying to really connect like great memories with a scent. And obviously that feeds it into customer retention, which we'll talk about later. But that's super cool to hear.
Yeah, thanks. Definitely.
Mm-hmm. And I don't have any formal background, but I can tell you, when I wear perfume, it has to match my outfit.
I am like the exact way. I like,
okay.
It's different.
And there are also scents that I cannot wear unless it's winter or fall.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just like, there's just something about it has to go with the mood, the outfit, everything. I've always been like that. I remember my roommates in college thought I was crazy. Like, oh no, I need to go get this perfume because it matches this outfit. And they're like, oh my gosh.
That's what DefineMe is really about, is choosing, we have in the butterfly series and a crystal infused series. The butterfly series has 7 different scents, and each one really connects and taps into a different inspiration or mood. Like one is self-love, one is gratitude. Like if I'm going to, a trade show or something, I'll wear the love because I'm like, I want people to love me and I want to feel grateful for what I'm doing. There's also creative, fearless, and strength. So just like whatever mood you're feeling, we have a fragrance for that. But it's all subjective as well too. It's like it just depends what you're feeling that day, and that's why they call it the scent wardrobe, because you just have all these variety of options you can enjoy.
Yeah, it's also like too the labeling of the product and like having it be like, oh, the association with love, like going to a trade show, you want to wear that. It's like the positive reinforcement too of like, oh, I know I'm wearing this perfume, which Alicia, like if it's a winter perfume, this is the one that I love to wear in the winter. Like it's just it's something that is like the extra reassurance, and it goes along with like, if fake it till you make it or like dress the part, like it gives you that added confidence, and it goes back to like the connections that you're instilling with a product and an emotion. And so you mentioned the butterfly series and then the crystal series. So one of the things that Alicia and I wanted to ask you too about was the butterfly, like the symbolism of the butterfly. So can you walk us through why you chose the symbolism? And then our logo is a butterfly as well. So we're gonna share a little bit there as well.
Yeah, sure. So the word define me is really about, defining yourself through scent. And when I was thinking about like the just having a symbol for the brand, I thought, let's do a butterfly because it's the ultimate kind of expression of transformation and growth. And that was really what we were going for, using the butterfly as our symbol. And each of the fragrances has their own graphic butterfly that has hidden symbols. Some people notice this and some people, not everyone notices it. So it's a little secret. But in each of the butterflies, they have little symbols in them. Like, for example, gratitude has moons. Self-love has little hearts. Wanderlust has stars. Peyton has tiger stripes. It's Peyton's strength. Sophia Isabel is free spirit, and there's this little like sun symbols in there. So it is really just about that, about connecting to your transformation, whether it's like on a subconscious level or just hey, I'm wearing this fragrance and it makes me feel good, and so that's really what the butterfly is about.
Yeah, I love those little Easter eggs. Like I'm such a I have such a love of like mysteries or like tying things together. So like Alicia, you already know this, but I'm a big Taylor Swift fan. And I also love like the Marvel universe because they're so good at putting in these little Easter eggs.
Yeah.
And yeah. And now that I know this, I'm going to go look in every single butterfly.
Yeah, it's really fun pointing it out to people because if someone like doesn't notice it, I remember I did like an Instagram post and I was like, "Hey, did you guys know? Like, look closely." And they're like, "Oh my god, that's so cool! I hadn't seen that before."
Yeah. So I mean, it's great. It's like a little bit of FOMO marketing too, because you get to see like you're on the inside, right, of like understanding just a little bit more about a brand or about a product. Our symbolism behind the butterfly has two different meanings. And yes, Alicia and we fact checked this before the episode so that we could get it exactly right from our founder, Yao. So shout him out for helping us out here. So the first reason is more literal because like a butterfly is beautiful in sight when you see it actually flying around. And because we do shipment and order tracking, that's what we're trying to do. So it's like you are trying to beautify or personalize the tracking experience so that when your package is in flight, like a butterfly, it's beautifully branded and the whole experience, you enjoy watching it and seeing it. And then the like second more symbolic reasoning is that like every butterfly wing is unique. And so that really speaks to our like core value of wanting to be relationship obsessed and like be there for our merchants because each merchant and each customer is unique. So like we want to show up no matter what and make that experience unique for our customers and then your customers as well. So that's the symbolism with our butterflies.
I love that.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah. Alicia, would you have anything to add there as well?
No, you did amazing.
You think? Okay.
Yeah,
you.
yes. You're hired.
Yes, that's really just what I wanted.
Yeah, no, I love it. So I own the Kahana. Hopefully I'm saying that correctly. And it is one of, to go back to the topic of the crystals, crystal infused. First of all, I wear it all the time living in Florida because I feel like I am at the beach when I'm wearing it. It's just like, it's so summery and like you just think of sunshine. You're like immersed in, I don't know, oasis. So anyway, I love it. But yeah, I would love to know more about the crystal infusion and where that concept came from because you don't see that very often in perfumes.
Yeah, it's kind of complicated when it comes to manufacturing because you're dealing with like a crystal and just the little pieces of it getting like stuck in the tubes and things like that. But we're just like, we'll go for it anyway. But a little background on Kahana, actually, we launched Kahana in 2021 and it was our 7th scent in the butterfly series. And we also transitioned it into the crystal infused series too, because it was just so loved. And I was like thinking like people were, stuck. We couldn't travel. We couldn't see our family and friends. And I felt like people needed something to help them escape. So to feel like they're on vacation or going to the beach and just to feel good. So Kahana, I was like looking just to create like this beautiful beach scent. And then in terms of the crystals, I love crystals. If you don't love crystals or believe in the metaphysical attributes of crystals, they're just really pretty to look at and people are really drawn to them. I have Kahana right here, actually.
Look at that.
My God. And by the way, you nailed what you were going for. It is Oasis in a bottle.
I was going to say someone who lives in Florida too. Like that is 5-star review right there.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah. Well, so the crystals in Kahana are aquamarine. In aquamarine, it helps evoke calm, serenity. It really kind of like connects. It's like a connector to water, And so we felt like with the beachy, really ethereal scent of Kahana, that would be the perfect match, those two. And then for the other crystals, Sophia Isabel is one of our best-selling scents from the original Butterfly series. And it's just warm, citrusy. It's like golden sunshine. And what better crystal to go with that than citrine, which is like, it attracts abundance. It helps with creativity. They kind of just like are made for each other. And then the last, the most recent fragrance, which is our newest launch called Rami, we were looking for a scent that would work with, like, be different than the others in the collection, just so people would have, like, you could choose, something different for whatever mood you're in. And that's really like warm and gourmand. And I feel like it's like this Moroccan kind of like sultry scent. And that has clear quartz. And clear quartz is for clarity. It's got a high vibration to it. It also helps with attracting, like, abundance and helping with your goals setting and those types of things. So, the crystals too, they actually change the chemistry of the scents. We've noticed that the fragrances without crystals smell a little bit different than after you have crystals in them for a couple days. I've noticed it smells kind of creamier and like, I don't know how to explain it. It's like just more kind of smooth smelling almost like breaks the acidity away of the alcohol. They like the sharpness of the alcohol. So, because they're living little, creatures. I don't know if they're creatures, but they're crystals. They're living. So they do change the chemistry of the scent, just like it would change on your skin, the chemistry on your skin. So, we're expanding the crystal line just because people really love it. It feels very spa-like. It just feels good. So we're transitioning into like scent diffusers. We have this little mood prism scent diffuser you put in your car or you put it in a bathroom. They're so cute. I wish I had one in my hand. But and then we're going to be doing like candles and things like that as we approach 2023. And hopefully we're going to be expanding the 4 into, we're going to be getting a 4th fragrance out, and we're looking to design something very different than the other 3. So there are options for every taste.
I have to ask, in the candles, I love it. In the candles, is the plan to have crystals in them as well?
Yes.
That's so pretty.
We're trying to figure it out. We're not candle manufacturers, so we're working with the candle manufacturer and trying to figure out like how that all works together with the crystals inside, and we want to make sure we do it right.
Yeah, that's so. I feel like, it's full circle, right? Like having DefineMe, having been started out of candle making and now coming back to it. I love that. But in terms of the crystals, like playing around with the type of crystals, was there any back and forth or any worry about or any trials between different crystals with different scents, or did you just kind of know? Like, I'm very fascinated with this, so I'm gonna keep asking questions about it. So like, was it just kind of like a feeling of the pairing of which perfumes would be with crystals, like you were explaining how kind of what they symbolize, or was it like was there sometimes like trial and error?
There's only 3 so far. So intuitively, Kahana, when I saw aquamarine crystals, it looked like the color of a beautiful ocean, like a light blue. And so it just felt right, but they were hard to source. So I was like, oh, and they're like really expensive. So they're not as common as like the citrine and clear quartz, and like you would have amethyst or rose quartz. They're not as popular, but I was like, we have to do that. Like, so there was a little bit of a struggle finding those, but it just, because of the meaning, it had to go with it, in my opinion. And then for Sophia Isabel, because it was just the scent itself just really worked with the citrine. It's right here. I've got this one too. But
I love that you have
cap, and then the crystals are golden. So it just, and the fragrance is golden. So it just had to be the match. And then more recently with the Rami clear quartz, I wanted to have clear quartz. I was experimenting a while back with different scents, and the scent Rami is so, so good. And I was like, I have to find something to, I have to do something with that eventually. And when this crystal line came to be, I remembered this scent that we had experimented with this scent before. And I was like, I have to go back to that. And it's going to be clear quartz. It's going to be about like clarity. And the name Rami is Arabic, and it means like pointed direction. And then clear quartz is clarity. So I was like, I thought that those two went well together. They have to kind of like go together. It's almost like it's a match.
Yeah, it's like a pairing.
There really wasn't much back and forth on her deciding like what crystal is going to go with which fragrance. Like it seems pretty obvious, like from the get-go.
It's just like how your perfume has to match your outfit.
Yeah,
right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
It just goes.
It just goes.
And I find that like if it makes sense, then people just get it. And there's not like a lot of people that go, well, I don't know. There's no like, I don't think that goes with that. It's almost like, yeah, that goes with that. So it's kind of just flows. It's like not a good first date. It just, when it works and when it doesn't work.
Chemistry's there.
The chemistry is there.
Quite literally the chemistry. Yeah, no, that's amazing. I love just like going into the product, because I feel like this is, not necessarily what you get to see a lot. So like the behind the scenes, but that also like the point that you make, Jennifer, about it just makes sense to the consumer. That also goes that like very hand in hand with marketing really resonating with your consumers, because you're allowed to, like, you don't even have to put in that extra effort, it seems like, because they just see the product and they're like, yeah, like I'm totally on board. There's no convincing that needs to be done. And I also I know we've been talking about the crystals, but the hair fragrances as well. I know they won like an innovation award. And so can you give us, this is the last question I have, at least towards product, and then we'll get into like marketing and retention. But can you give us like a little bit of a background there as well, like just in terms of developing that product?
Yeah, absolutely. So when we launched in 2015, we started really, watching social and being more connected to our customers. They were like, oh, I spray fragrance in my hair. And I was like, well, that has a lot of alcohol in it. It's not really good for your hair. And I know, and also hair is a good receptor for fragrance. It really holds it, just like your skin does. So, and then you're always moving your hair around, and then we're not washing our hair every day. So, and we're using lots of products. So I was like, we need to make something for the hair. And so at the time, being in Los Angeles, we had a lot of hairstylist contacts. And so we were making prototypes, and I wanted to have ingredients that were also like good for the hair. So one of the things we wanted to use was the main ingredient, which is amazing, is called panthenol. And panthenol, I call it the natural silicone, because I really liked how silicone would make your hair feel smooth, but silicone was on a lot of the banned ingredients lists. So I was like, well, what can I use besides silicone? And the answer was panthenol. And then we also use chamomile extract, which is also good for the hair, and aloe vera. It just helps everything feel silky and smooth and nice. And then the last thing we used is a touch of coconut oil. We didn't want to use too much because we didn't want, the hair to get oily. And so we sent prototypes of different volumes of different ingredients to all of our, hair stylist friends in Los Angeles. And we just got a lot of their feedback, and it was really positive. People really loved it. They're like, you could have different product in your hair and it doesn't kind of like make your hair feel sticky or weird. It doesn't clump it or anything like that. So I was like, we're onto something. And I don't think anyone else, maybe they do now because they saw what we were doing. I'm not sure, but I don't know if anyone else at the time had anything like it. It was just very unique. And yeah, it just freshens up your hair and makes it silky and feel good and smell great throughout the day.
Yeah, it really gets last in your hair all day long. It's awesome.
Yeah, and you can use it in hair extensions, on wigs. This woman is like, can I use it on my poodle? I'm like, yeah, sure. And I think fine. You can use it on your pet. I mean, it doesn't have anything in there that's bad for anything. So it's really interesting, and people really love it. It's good.
Yeah.
So a little bit of a segue into marketing, because I love that. I love the concept. I love perfumes and fragrances. How did you, considering it was relatively new, you clearly had a sense that this was something that there would be demand for because of all the things that you mentioned before. How did you take it to market, and like the two of you work together to drive demand and make it a success?
Well, I'll let Hannah answer the second part because she's our marketing person. But to take it to market was really tricky because it was my first rodeo. I didn't know anything about beauty. I didn't know anything about fragrance. So I had created 5 fragrance oils, and I just literally took it to market. Like literally, I would show up at places like Unique LA, these little shows that they let small vendors come in and sell their goods. And I started there. I started with 5 fragrance oils. And then in 2015 and 2016, I showed up at Cosmoprof, which was bonkers when you think about it, because it's one of the biggest beauty shows in the world, really. And with my new brand, and we got picked up by Ulta Beauty when we were there. So that was really kind of a big break for us. And then from, it's been ever changing even since Hannah's been here. That you can speak to, like, because she's like our genius marketing person.
Yeah, I think when it comes to marketing a fragrance, since we're sold online, sometimes people are really wary of buying a scent that they've never smelled before. So I think a big part of it is like really digging into what does this scent smell like, what are the notes, and also tying it back to like, what is this scent going to make you feel like, tying it back to like when you smell good, you feel good kind of aspect, and the intentions and the meanings behind all the scents really resonate with people. But it really is just driving home and using really like descriptive language about what the scent actually smells like, to sort of like paint a picture in somebody's head, like what this is going to smell like, and if it's this kind of scent that they would go for, that kind of thing. And
the other thing that I love when you talked about like painting a picture is, I feel like on your site, you have literally painted a picture of the scent with the imagery that is like next to the bottles when you're on the website. I love it. But I would agree. I love scents, and I do have that feeling of, oh my gosh, am I going to buy something online that I've never smelled in real life? It is daunting. When I look at how you describe Kahana on your site and how I experience it, it is 100% on the mark.
Good.
Oh, that's great.
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. So you guys do an amazing job.
Oh, thank you. We also do quizzes, and like the quiz we have, we've had, I don't know, people take it.
Yeah.
And they're just like, oh my God, that's so true.
We put a lot of effort into making those quizzes accurate. Like they're fun to take. Like everybody loves taking an online quiz, but we really put a lot of thought and a lot of effort into being careful with it in the way that, like, okay, the result that you get, we really want it to reflect what we actually think, what scent we actually think that you're going to enjoy. And a lot of people have been like, wow, this was dead on. Like you told me I was an Audrey, and I bought Audrey, and I love it.
Yeah, there's very distinct like scents, like people like fresh and floral, or they're like more spicy. Somebody can say, oh, I really just don't like scent. I like really soft scents. I'm like, I know which one you're going to like. It's almost an instinct for us.
Yeah.
And we have like less than a 1% return rate from our online business, which is
wow.
incredible. And we also have our kits too. So you can, our little discovery kits. So they have all 7 scents, and I've got it right here.
Yeah. They're great for like,
I love that.
Like me, like I don't really have a certain like category of scent that I stick to. I kind of like to try everything. And I feel like a lot of people are like that. So the kit lets you just try the whole butterfly series. We tell people like you can mix them and match them and layer them and come up with your own unique blend.
I have to admit, I did take that quiz and I got Sophia Isabel.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So
Ooh.
Sophia Isabel, I love like warm scents, like warm vanilla and
I love it.
That checks
Yeah.
out.
That checks
yeah.
out.
A lot of people have said too, Sophia Isabel is a good blind buy. Like we've heard that on like several occasions. People are like, this is a hit, this is a bestseller. You can buy it sight unseen, smell unsmelled.
You'll love Rami too.
Yeah.
Okay.
These are really like warm, gourmand. It's really yummy.
It's got like fig, golden benzoin, almonds, salted caramel. So it's
That
right
just
up our alley.
sounds
You'll love it.
amazing.
You'll love
It's
it. Yeah, it's kind of my, we both have our like our favorites. It's not our favorites. Like I can't choose a favorite. It's like choosing a favorite child, right?
Yeah.
I reach for certain ones at certain times, like especially new fragrances, like because it's like the new kid on the block. You kind of reach for it a lot. And this summer, I was reaching for Kahana all the time, and then Rami. I'm just like, I don't know. It just makes me feel good. It makes me happy when I wear it. So
Yeah. I'm curious with that because you said like when there's a new fragrance like Rami, you're reaching for it just because it's like new and you're like, you want to see what it's all like. So, but you also have the starter kits. So do you tend to see like consistently people, their first buy is going with a starter kit, or do you really see like people are like, I like from this quiz or from what I've been told or like the marketing, whatever it is, whatever makes that decision for them, they go with like just one of the scents?
We do have a lot of people, I would say maybe a majority, like their first purchase will be the kit. They buy the kit, they kind of see what they like. Some people write in, they're like, oh my God, I bought the kit and I loved every single one. I can't decide. But a lot of people will buy the kit. They'll kind of have the ones that they gravitate towards, and then they'll come back and buy like a travel spray or the hair fragrance or the full size one. Really gravitate towards the one that they like the best out of all 7. But like when we do a new launch like Rami, I noticed that we have a lot of DefineMe super fans out there that like if we release a scent, they are going to buy it and they're going to love it, which is what we saw with the Rami launch, which was really cool. Really cool to see because they'd never smelled it before and they were just very sure about like, I'm gonna love this, I'm gonna buy this, and they did.
Yeah, people are trusting us, which is really amazing.
Yeah. It's really cool to see.
Do good stuff. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm sure very reassuring as well. Like you said, to have, your like VIP or really, really huge fans of DefineMe be like, okay, new scent just dropped. Like I need to go buy it. I need to smell it. I'm sure it feels good.
People that write into like our contact form on our website just to be like, oh my God, I bought this scent and I'm obsessed with it. Like every time I wear it, I get compliments. And it's really, really heartwarming, like reading those messages. It's really nice.
And we do have a goddess gang. So they're called our goddess gang, and they literally are our gang.
Yeah, that's our rewards program. Yeah. So that kind of ties into our post-purchase journey, but also like we encourage people to join the goddess gang. They're kind of like our VIPs. Like we give them early access to sales. We do special giveaways with them. Yeah, they're our little community.
We like to spoil them. Yeah.
Well, they're goddesses. So yeah.
They are. They deserve it.
Yeah. No, that's I would love to go into that deeper. Like, so both, I'd love to ask yes about like post-purchase and how, because Hannah, you just mentioned like that is, I'm imagining you're driving people to that experience once they, of course, show up to be like a VIP or a huge fan of DefineMe. And I'd also like to talk about social media after that because I think they play in together. But can you walk us through kind of how you really like expand or grow that goddess, the goddess gang, or like what you're looking to do with them, kind of how retention plays in there?
Yeah, I mean, I have a post-purchase journey set up. So when someone makes a purchase, they get a message from us that's saying like, hey, did you know that if you join our goddess gang, you get all these special perks, you get points for every like X amount of dollars you spend, and then you can cash those points in for like coupons and like really good like offer codes for our site to come back and like keep purchasing. And like I said, we also do these like really special exclusive giveaways and early access. And like we said, kind of treat them like our VIPs. So it's kind of an incentive to like, hey, like stick with us. Like we're going to treat you good.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's amazing. Do you find, does that tie into like UGC and stuff like that? Like, like any reviews, or like, I know you had said people will reach out and just be like, customers will just reach out and be like, we love this.
That kind of plays back into the whole thing about trying to evoke like what this scent smells like online when you can't smell it. And we've seen a lot of people resonate with us sharing real like customer reviews, because it's like, oh, and our customers, the reviews they leave, they're very thoughtful. They're not just like, yeah, this smelled great, this was good. They really they go into detail about like what they loved about it. And that sharing those with our like online community has been really successful for us.
Yeah. The review process is like you'll say, oh, Cheryl, for example, wrote 10 reviews, because she's getting all those points for the Goddess, through the Goddess gang community. And so then she gets to, buy more product and get discounts on products and things like that. So
yeah, it really ties together.
Yeah, that's great, because it adds to the flywheel, right? Like, and it's exactly. a win-win situation. Yeah. That's great. So if I'm hearing you correctly, like writing reviews and sharing feedback is one way to like earn points. What are some other ways for the Goddess Gang to earn some of those points?
They get points for purchases. They get points for like celebrating a birthday, points for reviews with photos, following us on social. I think if they have like the anniversary of when they first signed up, they get points. We have a lot of ways to earn points. It's pretty easy. So
I love that. I asked because I was curious, or I am curious to see if I've seen on one of our other brands, Proper Good, like it on their package, it's like you share on your story, like your Instagram story or whatever platform, and they'll add points to your VIP account. So I was curious if you said someone like follows you on social media, and this is kind of leading into my question to learn more about social media and the marketing plays that you have there. So if someone follows you on Instagram, that like leads obviously to more of that like brand awareness. You obviously get a following, and it's still a win-win with them. So
yeah,
what other things have you been seeing on your guys' social media? And because I obviously, as a marketer as well, I'm curious to hear about the strategies and how they play into retention and like brand awareness, and the Goddess Gang as well.
Yeah. I mean, the Goddess Gang, I feel like in the beginning kind of really built up our Instagram. Like they were the most engaged on there. Our Instagram really has been a big like cultivator of that community for us. And more recently now TikTok, which was a bit of a learning curve for me. I'm not really a Gen Z, so get the hang of that. But we've been really spending a lot of time and energy and putting focus into our TikTok and growing our community there. And like I feel like they're like our friends. Like we've made so many connections, like just scrolling through Perfume Talk and like working with these influencers and like sending them product and like getting their real, like honest reviews. And it's really spectacular because we've made so many connections that way. And people were like, oh yeah, we saw your Sophia Isabel Citrine on TikTok. I'm like, that's incredible that's it's like circulated like that. It's really cool.
Yeah.
How do you identify the influencers that you want to work with or want to send scents to? Or does it happen more organically, like through your Goddess Gang?
Sometimes it kind of just happens more organically. I mean, it's kind of just like we're scrolling through our feed and like we see someone, we're like, oh my God, I bet they would love this. It's kind of like that. Sometimes people reach out to us and it just feels like a good fit.
Especially for TikTok, though. We're focused on the perfume community
for sure.
We haven't even expanded out because we've been so busy just with #perfume talk.
It's big.
You guys go on there, it's kind of a big thing.
But I'd have to check this out.
Yep.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, Alicia, that sounds like right up your alley.
It does. It does. I can see you on there.
Yeah, although I'm like Hannah, like not fully on the TikTok bandwagon, but I will be. Eventually.
I mean, one of the brands that I look at it is the Bobbi Brown. What is it called? Jones Road. I guess it's her, but Bobbi Brown has her own TikTok. But I mean, it doesn't matter. I think if they're just looking for authenticity, and kind of just, that's what we really like felt more comfortable about with TikTok ourselves, is even though I'm not, you know, of the TikTok age or kind of appropriate, but at the same time, I'm like, okay, you know, I mean, you just be yourself and it doesn't have to be so perfect.
Yeah,
which is so refreshing.
Instagram, we were used to having to like take these really nice photos and make it really look super buttoned up and very like, you need your grid to look a certain way. And I love that TikTok is more kind of just like loose and free, and you can just kind of hop on, and it can be a little more like scrappy, so to speak, than the Instagram that we grew up with, you know.
Yeah, I'll be the first to say all of you can and should be on TikTok. So,
I
have an account. I am just not.
I scroll through TikTok, but being on the other side of it, it's been a trip. But I've learned a lot, and now I'm way more comfortable getting in front of the camera and on the other side. So
I feel like that's the biggest hurdle.
Yeah, you just gotta do it and see what works and keep trying different things. And
and the discoverability on the app too. Like, I'm very pro TikTok just because of the discoverability, and Hannah, like you mentioned, the lower level of production that people expect on the app. Like Instagram, it was more of a like created or curated experience, and this is like, no, drop the curtain, like be honest, just show us. And sure, there's like some people who aren't,
you know, it doesn't have to be this like perfectly produced thing. It can kind of just be like, hey, this is us, this is our team, like this is what we're doing.
Exactly. Yeah. And I know, so as a company too, we're like starting to dip our toes in the TikTok, which Alicia, I'm going to pull you in. You know,
that's why I said I will.
And there you go.
You can do it.
TikTok.
Yep. The company, I'm starting to lay the seeds for people just coming into the office and making fun TikToks. And it plays into that brand, right? Like, the brand awareness, and just, I think DefineMe, the messaging and the intentionality and authenticity lends itself really well to a platform like TikTok. And from our experience too, with our branding of just being like at the forefront, the relationship is the most important thing. And so that's what excites me personally about TikTok. But I'm happy that you shared like some of those learnings. And I think one part that I want to emphasize is that I feel like everyone in the beginning trying something new is like, ooh, I don't know how it's going to go.
Yeah, you feel a little awkward about it at first. You get more comfortable as you do it. And like you said, I feel like it really gives, you can kind of see our brand's personality better through TikTok, because like Jennifer's hopping on there doing like story times and how she started DefineMe. People can actually like see her, hear her story that way. I'll get on there and be in a TikTok. Like, it's easy to just show a pretty perfume bottle and be like, hey, look, here it is. But you gotta make it more interesting.
Yes. Yeah, I completely agree. And to anyone who's listening, like, I feel like too, it is sometimes very much pitched as like Gen Z app, but I have, and this we talked about in other episodes, other podcast episodes as well, but like even like AARP, like older brands are still finding their way through TikTok. And so I share that knowledge however and whenever I can. Because it definitely, I think it's a common worry sometimes.
For sure.
Yeah.
It's the place to be.
So I'm truly a late adopter if I'm coming in after AARP. Is that what you're saying?
Thank you. Yep, that's exactly it.
A little faster.
I mean, we knew about TikTok, but it was like one of those things like carving out the time, you know, figuring it out. How does this thing work? What do you do as a brand? Like, what do people want to see? And then we were just like around spring, I think we had like 400 followers, and we were just like, screw it, let's just do it, you know? And we're now at like 12.7 thousand.
Yeah.
I think it's slowed down before you could jump up super quickly. But as a brand, I think it's a little bit more challenging because, you know, than an individual, but we're carving our way into it, and we like it a lot. And we've met the best perfume influencers on TikTok. So
we have really good bonds with these people. And like she was gonna say, we actually are doing an Instagram live later today with this girl Steph that we actually like met
On
through
TikTok.
TikTok.
Yeah.
And we just like have cultivated that relationship with her, and she feels like our friend, which is really cool.
Yeah, that's awesome. I think I might have seen, have you done Instagram lives with Steph, this woman, before, or similar ones?
Today would be our first.
Yeah.
But
we've done
Instagram
a
lot of Instagram. Yeah, we had this little moment where we were doing this.
I love it. I was all up in
that.
that.
We're get back into it. Yeah, we'll go on like a kick, and then things will just come up and fall off. But we're trying to do this.
You have to try things.
Yeah, I love that. And in the effort of like, things being busy and some other things having to take priority over, Instagram lives or prioritizing, certain videos or social media platforms. As we know, holidays are coming up. So in effort of talking about strategy, can you guys tell us just a little bit about, what you're doing to plan, what you're excited for, what trends you're going to see, really just any insights around the holiday season would be super interesting to hear.
I was going to say, I feel like Black Friday, Cyber Monday has been on my radar for like a couple months now. I feel like I've been like watching all these webinars and like how to prep for Black Friday. I've started just like drafting out like a checklist of everything I need to do, kind of getting all my ducks in a row when it comes to our SMS campaigns, our email campaigns, all the Goddess Gang stuff, like treating them like the VIPs they are and giving them the early access and giving them a little something extra. Creating segments of people who shopped last year and people who different segments to send the different messaging to, making sure all the post-purchase stuff is in a line and ready to go. It's kind of a never-ending to-do list. Updating the website and taking the holiday themed photos and all that stuff is going to be on the docket for the next few weeks.
Yeah.
Do you just make the assumption that it's always going to be a mad dash up until Black Friday, Cyber Monday?
And I'm going to be super prepared, but I feel like I'm always kind of like still throwing things together at the last minute, but it's all good.
Yeah, you can try to
you probably see other like cool ideas and things that other brands are doing, and it's like, oh, let's throw that in. Like, I'm sure that happens too. So best laid plans,
right?
Probably still want a little bit of room to shake things up.
Yeah, I mean, and one of the things we're like, let's add is like, let's do some gifting bundles, especially with people with the economy and everything like that. We're just trying to like go, hey, you can buy this one, but you can buy this two with this really cool bag. And then you have a second fragrance that you can blend together and things like that. We're just really trying to give without being, we're not a discounted brand in the way, we don't have a ton of discounts. We are doing discounts for Black Friday, Cyber Monday. But we're trying to just offer like value because our goal is to be like go-to everyday fragrance, because it is affordable, it's like you're not reaching for your $350. When you have a $350 bottle of fragrance, on your shelf, you're kind of like, oh, I'll just wear it for, a dinner once a month. Yeah. But like our stuff is like, wear this every day. It's just as good. It's made amazingly, the ingredients are beautiful. It's clean, natural. Yeah. And you can wear it every day and not feel bad about it, and we've got your back, we're your everyday girls, that's our goal. So, but we do the bundling and, I don't know, like you said, it's like, we always have things in the mix. Sometimes they don't work out, we try to do different collaborations with things, like different brands and stuff like that. And sometimes it's like herding cats, and for that, it's like, oh my God, these people are emailing me back and, things like that. But we're always looking for like new ways and creative collaborations.
Yeah. A lot of like my prep and figure out what we're going to do this year kind of involved just kind of looking back at campaigns that I did last year and seeing what worked and looking back even before I was doing it and see what was going on in previous years and what people resonated with, and kind of just looking to like the previous years of DefineMe and seeing what like the customers resonated with.
Yeah, that's amazing. If it gives any comfort, I've been asking that question to a couple, like as we've been approaching the holidays, and it seems pretty consistently like everyone has the same hurdles. They're just like, it's a mad dash. We're doing everything we can.
And especially I keep hearing like people are shopping earlier and earlier, and people, I'm already getting messages about like holiday shopping. I'm like, oh my God, it's already the end of October, believe it or not, but yeah, it'll be here before we know it.
Yeah, well, it's basically Thanksgiving, which means it's basically present time.
I know. In my brain, I'm already at like the end of December. It's crazy.
Yeah, and we're recording this like days before Halloween, but we're already thinking about holiday shopping.
Yeah.
And the other thing too that we, besides the Goddess Gang, is we have our sign up. So if you sign up for our, SMS, then you get a discount on that too. And then always join the Goddess Gang, you get additional ways of getting fabulous stuff and getting like extra special gifts and things like that. So we're always doing something, and especially for people that our customers and our Goddess Gang that are dedicated to us, we want to be just as dedicated to them.
Right.
And we're always talking about what can we do for them that's extra special. And that's kind of how we think about it.
I love it. I have 2 new life goals: Goddess Gang member and perfume influencer on TikTok.
We could be your first brand you talk about.
Yeah. Oh,
look at that partnership. Oh my gosh.
Gladly. Well, I'll be keeping an eye out for the holiday deals. My sister, she needs some crystal infused perfume. She loves like crystals, all the things. She's super into it.
Yeah, I'm also, to that effect, I'm also working on like making specific like landing pages and gifting guides and just very holiday themed. Like for like, here's what you can get your best friend, here's what you can get for your mom, like here, this would make a good stocking stuffer, like if you're on a budget, these ones are under $50, that kind of thing, to make it super easy for people to figure out like what they want to get a gift for somebody or just buy themselves a treat.
Yeah, I will be reading those gift guides. So this has been so wonderful though. I think that's a great note to end on, of just, we're very excited for the holiday season. Obviously wish you all the best, but I know just from having spoken with both of you and the DefineMe brand, it's going to go very well. So thank you for making the time today, for coming on the podcast, sharing some strategies. Wish you all
for inviting us to do this. This was so great.
Yeah, it was so fun. Thank you.
Yeah, love this topic. As you can tell, Mariah and I are big fans. We love it. Learned a lot. You guys are awesome.
Yeah, thank you guys.
Thank you.